Well, sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Hey, Boots. Hey, it's your girl, Leanne Dulce, your Chief Self-Love Officer, with my girl, Sharonda Sealy. And and you're tuned into hopefully your favorite morning show, Wake Up Happy Sis. We're broadcasting live on KCCR, the Brownstone and Brownstone Podcast Network, where, of course, we're telling our stories our way. Because who else is going to do it better than us, right? Today, we're getting deep, y'all. And we always varying levels of deep, but we're going to be diving into the oceans of our minds, right? Navigating the waves and exploring our mental well-being. I got to put you on mute for a second, Sharonda. Your background is coming through. Hold on. Now, you heard that right. Today is all about mastering your mind, a deep dive into minority mental health awareness. We're shining a light on the untold story of mental health for us, high-achieving Black women, who are juggling professional and personal responsibilities daily. With a little bit of our own stories, with tons of resources, we're going to explore how you can prioritize your mental health, how you can build resilience, and cultivate a life that truly nourishes you, mind, body, and soul. So let's get ready to jump on in. Hold on. So how you doing today, Sharonda?
I am doing pretty good. And you?
You know, I can't complain. It's a beautiful day out here in Georgia. I just feel good. I woke up feeling extra blessed this morning. So, yes, the goal is to always wake up happy. I mean, that's what we do here. So I'm always on a journey of waking up happy.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So today we're talking about mental health. And, I think especially in Black families, it's not talked about enough. I know when I was growing up, the motto was what happens in your house stays in your house. Mental health was not a thing, right? I have a cousin who was molested when he was very young and he didn't get the proper help. So what did he do? And yeah, and that's not something that we talk enough about. I think the stigma around mental health is going away because you have more people who have therapists who are going to see mental health professionals who are seeking support, and we're not hiding in the shadows anymore. We're not hiding our pain, our trauma, and we're actually trying to heal. So I definitely think we've taken a lot of good strides in that area. What about you?
I agree. I definitely agree. I didn't even know it was a thing until the VA told me that I had some things I pushed back to the side, and needed to bring to the forefront to reckon with. So
yeah, I mean, if you look, it says, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health, Black adults are 20% more likely to report serious psychological distress than white adults. I would have thought that number was higher.
No, that's reported. That's not everybody.
Well, true. Because if you look, of course, we are going to report serious psychological distress more than white people. I mean, look at what we have to deal with in society. Let's just be real and let's just be honest here, right? We're not only dealing with a lot of stress at work, a lot of layoffs and companies forcing employees to do more with less, but we're also facing police brutality, worried about if our young men and our young women are going to make it home safely every day, or are they going to die at the hands of the police, someone else, just
Girl,
racist, like, you know what I mean? Plus
I
the fact,
do.
as Black women, we're already worried about everybody, not worrying about ourselves. At work, having to be 4, 5, 6, 10 times better to just be counted as average. It's like, and as a Black woman, not always feeling protected, not always feeling like I have a voice, not always feeling like I'm respected. I'm,
Hmm.
it's like I'm needed because I need somebody to fill that place, but am I appreciated? Is my value being appreciated wherever I'm putting it, professionally, personally, culturally, in our community?
Well, I found that I wasn't really valued until I had enough, and I submitted my packet for retirement, and then the appreciate like more of the appreciation came that wasn't spread it throughout my last 5 years, and it's like, so where was that when I was trying to tell you that I needed help? So where was all of that when I was
Yep.
having like literally having a panic attack in your presence? Where was all of that? Just I'm like, wow, that's so on
That's
on
interesting. That's
target.
interesting. That's
Yes.
interesting. Yeah. But I think that's how it is. It's like until you are leaving or have left, that's when people really see the value that they bring, especially if you're more of an instrumental background person, right? You're doing all the things, you're doing all the tasks, you're picking up for all the people. They
So
don't they don't
since
see
you
you as that front end kind
but
of
you
high
feel it though,
impact
you're gonna
person,
feel it with my absence.
but you feel it with
You will. Oh, you will.
uh uh I don't know what that is. Rosian Mercado, Porto Alegre en Rio Grande. Okay. I think that's Portuguese because I'm
There's a
thinking
little
you're
bit
in
of
Rio.
Spanish in there too.
So that's what I think. Portuguese, Spanish, it's very close, I think. But welcome and thank you for listening in, Ross.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Thank you so much for listening in. We appreciate you for tuning in. I really wish that was in English. Hold on. Talk amongst yourself.
You talk about me as in we, like
Right.
us,
Amongst
me,
yourself.
all of us. Yes. So let me just tell you what I have taken to doing,
Yeah.
and can you tell me why
Get into it.
I have been when I'm out and about walking my dog and stuff, I have taken to putting my carrying ID on me and stuff because it's it's a it's it's a feeling of the hey ma'am, how are you?
Welcome. We've got our other on-air personality, B. Nicole Johnson of Girl Your Money Matters, joining us today. Hey,
We
baby.
missing one. Come on, Paulette. Come on, jump on so I can
Now
have
we're
my
gonna see if
Trinity in one
Paulette
place.
gonna get in. Now, Nicole just came off vacation.
Well,
So
ma'am,
she,
how was your vacation?
The best form of mental health. I think I left my voice
baby,
there.
that's when you know
Woo!
you did it right. That's when you know you did it right when you come back and ain't got no voice. Yes. So it
I
looks like
had a
Roxanne
great time. I had a
came.
great time.
Good deal. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm really, today is my recovery day.
Of
I
course.
built in a recovery day. And then I just looked on the little, the JOB email to see what was going on. And I think I'm gonna need a day two for my mental health day. Yeah.
You might look. You might. Sometimes you need that.
Listen,
Yes,
I
you need
just
it
asked,
on
how
vacation.
many days do you need to recover for your vacation? And somebody told me you need as many days off as many days of the vacation.
And here I was thinking I was doing something 1 or 2 days before I clocked back in.
Listen, I need a whole week. I was out a week. I need a
Woo-woo.
week.
Listen, I told somebody said 3 days. I say it's gonna take me that long to do my laundry.
Hey,
Uh,
Man,
we're gonna
how
talk
are
about
you, ladies?
we're fine. We're talking about the depths of mental health.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
And I said, let me get in here and get some of these nuggets because I know it's plenty of them around here.
yeah,
But
that's
just
nuggets.
it's mental health. We have had such a stigma in our community about mental health.
Mhm.
And we're seeing it was amazing in a good way and a negative way for me to see what happened to the Clark sisters. But when you look at what stays in this house, what happens in the house stays in this house,
you just said
and it's
that.
40, 50, 60 years after something happened, and
Mhm.
they're still dealing with the trauma of it.
Because it's still in, because all that trauma is still in the dark.
Yeah.
When I had my magazine, I also had a publishing company where I would help small authors publish their books. Okay. And I met this woman. She had to be 85 ish. Okay. And she wanted me to help her write her book. And it was all about the trauma that she had been through because she had been molested by multiple men in her family.
Mm,
And there was nobody there to protect her. I'm talking about from the age of 3.
Jesus.
Nobody there to protect her
mm.
because what happens here stays here. And you still keep that nasty ass uncle coming around and want to force. Look, we about to get into something because this ain't supposed to be about that kind of episode, but let me just make this statement for all parents. When your child don't want to sit on somebody, some grown ass man or grown ass woman's lap, and don't want to give them hugs and don't want to kiss them, stop trying to force your kids into doing that because you are fucking up their mental. Because you
Wow.
don't know what that person is or is not doing to them in behind closed doors. And they may not be doing anything, but a child should not be forced. I should not have to feel uncomfortable because that person's my aunt or uncle,
So
family friend, whatever. Stop doing that.
we had a past guest named Wendy, and she posted that very statement this morning. Stop making your children hug people that they don't want to hug. She says, as a parent, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm
Period.
protecting these children.
Yeah.
And see, this is the funny thing is that when kids say stuff and it's bluntly honest or comical, it's always out of the mouths of babes. But when they start to repel from people or reject people, oh, she moody, or he's this, he's that, he's spoiled. Them things. Now we don't get to pick and choose where we classify things. It just is what it is. Just like we have instincts, so do children.
That's
Hmm.
And it may be I just don't like him or her. Okay.
that's
We
okay.
have to let them know it's okay to indulge their feelings and be who they are. And if your child is repelling against someone, let them have that. Maybe once you get home, you can talk to them about that so you can understand what is going on with them.
Mhm.
Man, best man, I don't want to be bothered. How about that part?
Yeah. Look, kids deserve the ability to say no, just like adults, just like we
Absolutely.
tell ourselves. And they have to protect their mental too. Only they don't know any better.
Right.
Don't know why it just don't feel right when uncle or aunt such and such try to make me kiss them or try to kiss me on the cheek or want me to sit on their lap.
I don't want to.
We don't have to do that. We're not going to do that. Now, let's get back to the topic because that's a whole show in and of itself, baby. That's a whole show. And Celeste said, yes, this is true. It is. We have to protect our
That's not a show. That's probably a season. If that's a dog,
Did
that
she
rabbit
say a
hole right
whole
there.
season? We
that
could.
could be a whole series because it's something that needs to be talked about. But today we're talking about mental health for us, for our adult Black professional and entrepreneurial Black women, because we go through a lot, right? We are often juggling family, a career, and or a business, because I may have a career and a business I'm trying to build. Okay. We might also be caregivers at the same time for family members, not just our
Mm-hmm.
children. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got spouses, we've got community, we've got church. We may have employees or subordinates who work for us in many capacities. And we try to be social as well. So there are a lot of pressures on us, and we suffer higher potential for burnout,
Mm.
especially as Black women, because we're expected to just be so strong and never show weakness and always be happy because we can't be the angry Black woman, right? We have such a high propensity for burnout and for mental health issues because of all the pressure that is put on us. Top that with societal expectations, stereotypes again about us being that what? Strong Black woman or attitudinal Black woman or whatever, right? All these things can lead to so many mental health problems and also make us shrink back from getting help because of that mentality that, oh, we're weak. Something must be wrong with her if she needs to go see a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, right? These are the things that we have to deal with. We got discrimination, microaggressions at work, just when we're trying to be our fabulously light shining selves. We go in and we do the damn thing because we realize we are coming in as the underdogs and have to be 5-10 times better than their average person, right?
Reminds me of a post I made a few years ago when President Obama was in office. And there were pictures of Melania in her golden days. Let's just call it that. And so I posted a collage of them that I pulled off of Google. And she was all in her buff,
Mm-hmm.
buff by herself, buff with other men, buff with other ladies. And my point was, if this had been Michelle Obama,
Stop
there
it.
would have there would have never been a Barack Obama as the president. Hashtag plight of the Black woman.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I had a non-Black woman, older woman in my inbox saying, I'm appalled that you shared these pictures because when I opened,
You didn't make the pictures. You're not in the pictures. Why she?
she said she was appalled that I shared them because when she opened up her Facebook page, her 9-year-old grandson was standing there and he saw them. I said, well, let me explain a few things to you. This here, number one, is my page, not yours.
Hold on.
So there's no privilege there. Okay, all right. There's no privilege of yours over here. So let's dial that back. Number two, if he's 9, I'm sure this ain't the first time he's seen them pictures because they've been all over the national news.
Period.
And some of his little friends probably got them in their phone too. So that you might want to mind over there and not over here. Thirdly, there was a point. If you read the hashtag, It says the plight of a black woman, something you're not. Therefore, you would not understand. So what you're not going to do is monitor over here. Because see, she had to overcome all of these things
Mhm.
just to be considered worthy of being the first lady. And boom, y'all still have a problem with that, the fact that she did. If these roles had been reversed, there would not have been President Obama. You would have used anything that you could to
Mhm.
hold him down, even if it meant going through his wife and or his children. Y'all done went through his whole family line in Africa and Hawaii.
Period.
Let's not even get into that. But we have to do things 20 million times better than the average white woman to even be considered in the playing field.
Mhm.
So before you come judging me and talking to me, I suggest you get your facts straight. Because the one thing God knew is where to have Nicole Coleman. Now, not Johnson, I assume that name, but Nicole Coleman, to know where she needed to be born in this world. And it wasn't back then. It wasn't long ago. It was in 1972. Because had she been born back then, she might not have made it. If she had been born long ago, she might not have made it. Because this mouth right here wasn't ready, and they wasn't ready for it. Because the plight of the black woman is for real, and I'm not gonna shut up about it. All right, okay.
Okay, well, with that, we're going to go to a commercial break. You are watching and or listening to Wake Up Happy Sis on KCCR, the Brownstone and Brownstone Podcast Network, where we are changing the narrative for our people because we are telling our stories our way. We have
Amen.
heard from one of our show sponsors.
Y'all ready for the hottest event of the summer? Brownstone Worldwide and Exhale Central Georgia are throwing the block party of the year on August 4th, 2024. From 7 to 11 p.m. at the Mill at Dovedown, located at 315 West Solomon Street in Griffin, Georgia, Suite 400, we're going to be throwing the Gala Event Fundraiser of the Year to actually help two promising young women blaze their trail to college. So go ahead and join us for fantastic food, drinks, networking opportunities, music, fashion shows, and local vendors. Tickets are only $30 a person, y'all. We're also accepting donations and seeking sponsors to back this noble cause. So jump on board, click the link below, or dial 470-862-0313 for more details. Go ahead over to brownstoneworldwide.com or give us a call. Let's go ahead and make college dreams a reality together at Brownstone Worldwide and Exhale Central Georgia.
All right, all right. So I have a question, okay? How do you think that societal expectations of Black women impact our mental health?
Impact your what?
Our mental health.
Woo.
How do you think that? So I want to start with you, Sharonda. What do you think? How does societal expectations of Black women impact our mental health?
Sometimes they can't be farther from the truth. Sometimes they're more general and broad than they are focused because they haven't taken the time to ask us like this is how you see me, but you didn't ask me how it really is, and it's much easier. It might be more fun for people to assume instead of asking outright, so it's the misconceived part. It's the not taking the time to ask us how a situation truly is instead of automatically assuming, or it's sickening sometimes. And when I was in that space, when working, it was all that I could do to create a force field around myself to protect myself, or to keep misconceptions out and away from me, because I had a goal that I was focusing on and working towards and stuff. So I couldn't allow myself to stop and address the BS, so it's just too much. It's too much for them to ask us how something truly is instead of assuming something. So for me, it would be coming down to somebody's level instead of bringing them up to mine to be like, it's not really like that. It's truly this way instead of what you thought because you didn't take the time to ask me. So,
and that kind of showed up when I was scrolling TikTok. There was a lady, and she was like, she's helping people, and she says the lady in the back of the line, a Black woman, who most people would say she has an attitude. Okay. But most people don't even know what kind of day that woman had, what things that she has been through, what's going on in her life. Most times, this attitude they perceive that we have is a trauma response. It's like that little force field sometimes that we have to put around us because you don't know what just happened to her, right? Especially when we go into any store, the first thing they do is they come up with that, can I help you? But it's the look that they give you when they say it. If they even recognize you're in there. Because sometimes you'll sit there. Somebody don't act like they see me. Y'all don't see me.
But my money is still green though.
Yeah.
And it can spend just as well as everybody else's.
But that
Someplace
impacts
else
our
if you're
mental
not
health,
careful.
right? Because all of these pressures, all of these things, these preconceived notions that people have against us keeps our guard up. It forces us to keep our guard up because one thing you're not going to do is play with Leah and Dulce. You're not going to do that. And I have a right to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me the quote unquote angry Black woman.
See?
When we stand up for ourselves, we're the angry Black woman. When we use that same tenacity and resilience to stand up for non-Black causes, then we're amazing. We're great. We're team players.
But we deserve that same kind of backing and to do it for ourselves, and that's when we get that label and stuff like. But it's okay for us to get behind other people, but when we defend ourselves, why do we have to be angry Black women and stuff? No, I'm angry about the situation. I'm angry that you think that it's going to go down like that, and it's not. This is
and they definitely don't stand up for our causes.
How about that?
When you look at Black mental health, how many of those same feminists, non-Black feminists, non-Black whatevers that we're always supporting come out for and stand up for our rights, our needs, our struggles? It doesn't happen. So what about you, Nicole? What do you think about societal expectations impact on our mental health?
It's draining and exhausting.
Yeah.
I'll bring it from the corporate perspective because this is an ongoing battle for me as a business owner who still works the 9 to 5. And so as I'm building that career, I'm learning that I have to advocate more vocally for myself than the average white individual. So when I'm handed, you recognize that my greatness carries our team. But when I tell you that carrying the team is creating stress for me, then you want to know what's wrong. Ma'am, ain't nothing wrong. I feel fine. But Joe, Nim need to do their part too.
Yeah, because there's no
And it was
and it
having
all on you.
right. And it was having I didn't realize how much of an impact it was having on my levels of stress until my coach tapped me on my shoulder and was like, ma'am, every day you leaving work, you talking about how tired you are. When I'm trying to connect with you to do X, Y, and Z for your business, you don't have the energy. I had to start doing some self-reflection. And this was the best advice. Well, not the best, but not the only. But she gave me some great advice and she told me to stop being the MVP and be the MVP. I said, ma'am, I'm tired. Don't confuse me.
Don't wordplay
Don't
me.
take much
Don't
right
word.
I'm gonna need you to explain this because
Right.
the gym's not comprehending that. And she said, stop being the most valuable player and become a minimal viable producer. Because if Joe Nim can be a minimal viable producer and it's okay for them, I
Because
need
they
you to
got
start
two.
matching their energy.
Oh,
And
that's
so when I
be
did
a
that, I found myself skipping, and I'm a big girl. I don't skip. But I did after I start releasing that, after I start slowing down, after I start taking as many breaks as they did.
Spread
They went on
that
break.
around a little
I
bit.
went on break. They went to lunch. I went to lunch. They left at 3, and so did me. We was leaving out. We was doing the same thing, and guess who got called to the office?
You did, because you
I
ain't doing
did.
enough, Nicole.
But I had to let her know. I told her, and I specifically said this. I said, Miss Supervisor, what's the problem? She's like, well, your numbers have gone down. I said, they match Joe's, right?
Mm-hmm.
They match Joe. Matter of fact, they match Joe and Randy's. She said, but I said, we're not doing but.
You can't expect. Why are the
That was a
expectations?
full stop.
Yeah,
Full
why
stop.
It
are
was,
the
but this is
expectations
what I had
different
to tell
from
her,
me?
and I wanted to say it in plain English so there was no misconception. And if I can't say it twice, I won't say it once. But I told her, I said, your problem is that you're not used to me producing this minimal work, but you accept that minimal work from them because my overages were covering their shortcomings. I've been carrying this team with one salary, but I'm doing the work of 4 people, me and 3 others. So until you can cut me at least 50% of each one of their paycheck, I'm gonna dial this back to mine. Cause see, I'm not trying no longer trying to get a 5 on this 1-3-5 scale. 3 is good for me because 3 is good for them, and we all gonna be great. At 3 o'clock, I was skipping about. Y'all have a good day. See y'all later. See y'all tomorrow. Nicole,
Oh,
you leaving? No, actually, I'm already in the car. This is just a figment of your imagination.
that part.
So it did. So Leanne, the answer is I had to realize that my S needed to be retired.
Yes.
I was no longer the superwoman. And that extra energy that I was pouring into the job, I needed to pour into the gym.
How about that?
Yeah,
That part right
that is,
there.
Yeah.
and that's one of the things. Now, I'm never going to be a proponent and say, don't feel like you're doing your job or giving your best, but you cannot and should not accept everyone else being allowed to do the minimum because they're used to you doing your job plus. Now, I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. But the minute I stop doing his job, and her job too, that's when your value is really shown. But if you're not compensating me on that scale, why should I continue to do that? That, like, there was another little skit. Well, not even a skit. The guy was, I guess it probably was a skit, but it was a white male, and he was called into HR, and they were like, Joe, your numbers have been down, you know, have been down this last year based on your performance, last year. What happened? He's like, well, I was the top selling 2 years in a row. And when I asked you for a raise, I was told that my pay was within the median. What did he say? He was on the lower end, like below the mid range for his
Mm.
position. But I'm over here working my tail off, and you're telling me that I'm not even worth the standard. He said, so because you give me below average pay, I've decided to give you below average performance that is commensurate with my pay, because that is the value that you have placed upon me.
Hmm.
And I think there have to be discussions, because what this does is it tells me that my best will never be good enough for the company, because I'm expected to stay late, get all these reports done, do all this, do all these 17 things, when my coworkers who are at the same level and sometimes even higher because they've been here longer are allowed to do the
This a
big.
whole meal.
How does that make me feel, and how does that play on my mental health? Because what it does, and it brings up our next topic I want to talk about, is microaggressions and their impact on our mental health.
Before, as you open it up, are they really microaggressions?
Some are not, but they are times where it is. But a lot of times it's just straight aggression, right? Because people, one, are jealous of what they see you do, and they see you excelling, and they're wondering, well, I've been here longer, I deserve that promotion. It has nothing to do with their qualifications. It's literally the fact that they've been there longer, and they feel that makes them deserving of the
Entitlement.
That's the word, Sharon. Say it again.
Entitlement.
A false sense of
Mhm.
entitlement.
Yes.
But if the culture has dictated that if you stay here long enough, you can go ahead and get promoted. But if you're not doing the work, why should you get promoted? Fuck your doggone seniority. You ain't did shit. What are you doing?
Man, listen. These were the exact words that were said when I got promoted in January. I can't believe they gave that girl that promotion. No hell for it. They didn't give me anything.
First of all, let's talk about girl. I ain't been a girl in a very long time.
Okay.
Let's talk about that part.
But listen, 2 times over plus a few years. Hello. They didn't give me anything. When I and I've been with she's been with the agency almost 10 years longer than I've been there. She's been in this office for her whole career for the most part. I'd been in the office 6 months. The position became open. We all interviewed. I was offered the job and I accepted. And now you mad. You so mad you took a day off. Ain't nobody in there worth me giving up 8 hours of my time. I'll ignore you and completely block you out before I give agency 8 hours of my time. But you. So, and that's what happened. And she called somebody and said, I can't believe they gave her that job. I said, well, whoever talked to her, go back and tell her, no, I earned that job because I'm qualified to do it. And I've exhibited the habits, the performance that they're looking for while you around there cussing out folk. There's a difference between you and me. We're not even in the same arena.
Yeah. And now when we're talking about aggressions, whether they are macro or micro, right? When we're talking about microaggressions, yeah, I mean, that's macro, right? That's macro, right? So the microaggressions are those little subtle little things that they do, that they'll say sometimes to you, around you, or to others about you. Those little derogatory, negative statements that they make, right? When they
I know that's your friend, but you need to watch her.
Yeah.
See,
yes. I wouldn't trust her if I were you. Yeah. But they never really have concrete reasons why. I just got a feeling about her. I just got a
It's just something about her.
Hold on. Anybody know what this means?
Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot.
Absolutely. Let me beat them eggs right quick.
Right. I'm getting them lumps out.
Yes. But
I'm like, oh my God, are we 12 on the doggone playground? What is this?
But that's how they do.
It's not 12, Sharonda. We can go always back to 6 or 5.
Right. But I'm sorry, it's what they do. It's especially when you come in to a place where people have been able to get by with mediocre or just standard performance, and you come in and you shine a light and everybody likes you in the office immediately. You are getting acclamation from the management, you're getting the attention of executives. People get jealous of that, and that's when the macro and microaggressions come out, right? And these things, whether you want to admit it or not, are going to take a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take a toll on you, sometimes to the point, like I had, even in companies that I've worked in, I was so frustrated, I cried one day at work.
Yeah.
And I was this close to quitting because of the way that this new white male manager came in and was treating me and everybody else. What I'm not is a slave. What I'm not is your go do, step and fetch it girl. You're going to talk to me like I'm a professional. You're going to talk to me like I'm a human.
You're going to speak to me with the same level of respect that you want me to speak to you with.
Exactly. Right. So according to a study, hold on one second. According to a study in the Journal of Counseling Psychology, you know, I like to give little stats. Okay. Racial microaggressions can lead to increased symptoms of depression and negative mood in Black women. Now, we didn't need no study to tell us that because we live it. Now, go ahead with what you were saying, Sharonda.
It made me forget now. Oh no,
I gotta write it down.
Okay, but it's the feeling of they're comfortable doing it because nobody's checked them, boo. Nobody has told them that what their behavior is unacceptable. And plus, if their boss is supporting their attitude towards you, how you gonna win in that situation? Just give it up. It's like, Lord, I'm just trying to make it to 52 weeks so I can move on to my next job. I was at work with Tums in my desk.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying. Oh, the supervisor would make me cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was so mad at myself for allowing that to happen, and they were just so pleased with themselves that they made me this way. But I'm just like, this is okay. This is what this culture is and stuff. Well, I can't stay here. This is definitely contradictory to my development, my psyche, and my mental health.
My mental health.
Bullshit.
My mental health matters.
Yeah.
Yes, it does matter too. Thank you. It does.
And it ends up at feeding into the imposter syndrome that a lot of us deal with at times. I know when I worked for, well, we're going to save that story because I got to do another station identification. But we're going to run this little commercial real quick, you know, let you know how you can with a little bit of Leanne's trainings. So come on and learn a little bit about this resilience reset. You are at the top of your career, just killing the game, and everyone comes to you for support, personally and professionally. But you're also caught in a cycle of perpetual stress and self-neglect, constantly juggling responsibilities, always putting others first, and ending each day feeling emotionally drained, unfulfilled, craving balance and harmony in your life. If this feels like you, sis, I see you. Here's the truth. You're more than other people's agendas, more than a productivity machine. You are deserving of fulfillment, peace, and the space to prioritize your well-being. And that's where my Resilience Reset Master Life session comes into play. It's your pathway to a more balanced, joyous, and harmonious, fulfilled life. Take the first steps of your transformation. Join us for the Resilience Reset Master Life session. It's only $99. Learn more at theresilienceresetbundle.com. Remember, you're not on this journey alone. You can and will rise above.
Oh my gosh. I saw myself in both of those young ladies. The bright-eyed, bushy tail, new to to the outfit and stuff, and then the ones up against the wall about to tear my hair out because of the BS in the office and stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I worked at this, like like I've said before, I worked at a Fortune 500. Hell, they may be a Fortune 100. I don't know, a Fortune 500 telecom company, where I was told, based on my mid-year review, that I was performing at a 2 out of a 5 level. 2 out of 5 means you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be in your position. Why have they not fired you yet? And that does impact how we see ourselves, because for a minute, you're going to question yourself, sometimes longer. Okay. You're going to question and be like, is this okay? Maybe I have been slacking off. Maybe I have been blah, 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 blah. Right? These microaggressions, macroaggressions, these limits that they place on us, that others place on us, giving us their narrative of who we are and our value.
But isn't it contradictory though?
What do you mean?
They gave you a 2, but you were the trainer of everyone.
Oh, of course. But that was the thing, because he was handed down the command. Well, they were handed down the command that they were supposed to get rid of low performers. Low performers ended up being 2 of the 3 Black people on the team. They couldn't let the third one go because she was brought in to be a manager. They literally just hired her, so they couldn't fire her. So they went for the only 2 other Black people there. Now, one of them was a low performer. She should have been fired. She wasn't on my team, but I had a white male on my team who should have been fired, who I had been working with for months trying to get his performance up. And he just wasn't making the cut. But they instead tried to target me. And when I tell you, that's where one of the ways that you get past these microaggressions and stuff is ask somebody you trust that will give you an impartial view of you in that company. Let's say it's a work thing. Ask somebody who knows you, who knows your work ethic. Ask them to give you their honest opinion. Is this me? That's what I had to do to the woman I just trained. So I know you know what I know and what I don't know. Ask that, right? Because we have to, and then you have to be the person who's going to stand up for yourself. Go to HR. Now, HR ain't there to help you. I've said this multiple times. HR is there to minimize legal impact against the company. Now, HR has services that will help you, but their goal is to minimize lawsuits and negative impacts. That's one of their goals. Now, maybe not their primary, but it is one of them. And that's what I did. I took my issue to HR. I documented everything and showed all the work that I had done, because this was a new team. But my mentor was already affected. It was impacting my relationship with others at the job. My manager, who was the person who I guess picked me to be fired, wouldn't talk to me. He would not look me in the face. We used to go out to lunch at least 2-3 times a week. He stopped talking to me. He stopped meeting with me, and he was meeting with my team members behind my back and wondering why, because he was a lead who got promoted to a manager. He didn't know how to be a manager, so he continued to do lead things. And when I tell you, in that HR session, the day of, because they were like, don't tell him, because I had set up a meeting with our department manager. They said, don't tell him that HR is going to be at that meeting. Just make it seem like it's a meeting with that manager. The day of, he comes to me. Now, this is maybe a 2 or 3 weeks later, right? Because they have to do their investigation. He comes to me the morning of the meeting. Hey, Leanne, I don't think we need to meet with Anne Marie. We can just, handle this ourselves. I think we can come to an agreement. And I was like, I would just feel better if we kept the meeting in place. When I tell you, the HR rep called me and asked me, do you mind if I have one of my coworkers sit in? When they bring in another resource, that's when you know it's a big deal.
Mhm.
Something likely that could result in a lawsuit. In my case, it could have, because they were blatant lies against me. He was not following company policy. The fact that he was 3 months late on a mid-year review was just one of the things. I had 4 different copies of that review because he was using the wrong forms. He didn't know what he was doing. He was not trained properly to do his job. And then they wanted to take it out on me. And all of a sudden, when it came out, all of the people, like, they had stopped me from other opportunities that I was supposed to be engaging in. They put all that on hold. That's when I knew I was the one targeted to be fired.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, the people who weren't talking to me were now talking to me, looking me in the face again, trying to be real nice. But my mental,
Well, what changed though?
because they knew HR. They didn't have a grounds to fire me. They could not fire me because his review, which is what they were tagging me as a low performer, was falsified. There's no way that you can give me a 2 out of 5 when I can show you and document what I've done for this team, how I've organized, how I've created all the training programs, how I wrote
You deserve this
procedure for that team.
So what the devil meant for bad.
The whole process that they used to walk through quality assurance audits, I wrote all of it. How can you tell me that I'm a low performer? He ended up getting demoted. Now I came back and they invited me, the head and lady invited me. This was maybe a year or so later. I went to a job and got $15,000 more a month. A year. Right?
See, you need to thank that situation.
We do, because our minds get so affected. And I want to wrap this up back to mental health. Is that our psyche, our mental gets affected by all of these aggressions that are taken out on us, because that's what they are. When you are denied a promotion because of how you look, how you act, not because, or you're just denied it because they want to bring in this non-Black person, non-female person, whatever, that's an aggression towards you. That's because of their stereotypes and their expectations, not their stereotypes of who you are and the value that you bring to an organization, right? It's the same of doing more with less. They expect us to do more, be supported less, and still be seen as less than. How can that not affect your mental health? So in our last segment, I want to talk a little bit about, because we've got about 5 or 6 minutes left, and we're all about strategies here. So I want to talk about when we're dealing with mental health situations, aggressions at work, unfair treatment, things that are affecting our mental. How do we get past that? Now, Deidre says she's had some managers try to change protocol. That's happened to me too. Yes, about bringing the employee rule book. Okay, because people come in and they try.
You go, girl.
But they come in and they expect that we don't know the policies and procedures at the companies, right? Hey, Paulette, we sad you missed us too. But they think that we don't know. We're expected not to be on top of our things. That's the first way that we get past some of
Their
the
fault for taking that for granted.
is know the policy. That's going to be the first lesson. One, know your policies, procedures, rules, regulations, guidelines. Know all of those things around your business, around any investment, any engagement project you work on. Know what the rules of engagement are so that when somebody tries to tell you you're operating outside of that, or they try to change things, it's not affecting your mental, right? Make sure that you acknowledge that you need help. That means telling your manager, telling your leaders, hey, I need help. I am now doing the work of 3 people because we've lost 2 people in the department, and this is overwhelming for me. We have to stand up for ourselves. And it's okay to raise your hand and say, I need help, right? For Black women, it is crucial that we find culturally sensitive professionals who understand our unique challenges and the experiences that we face. A person who has never been a Black female in corporate America, especially a high achieving and high performing and high earning one, you cannot tell me how to be me. You've never had to deal with these things. You had the luxury of being able to exist without being hated, without being judged, without being seen as less than just because of your color, right? We need to go with professionals who understand our challenges, our struggles, right? We need to go to online platforms like therapy for Black girls, where they have mental health professionals for us that look like us, that are
Right.
trying to work with us.
So I said that I went to work to make money, right? And that I didn't go to make friends, but that was the blessing that I got to have friends at work that became my family, that became my network to keep me from, sticking myself to the ceiling or throwing myself off the cliff because, something's going on, it's not fair, it's not right, and no recourse, or how do you react in situations like that? So when you don't have people that look like you in the workplace, the people that you work with can be that for you, that surrogacy that you need.
Yes.
So that's one of my biggest blessings that the Lord gave them to me to help me through rough patches at work. So if you don't have it, you got to create it.
Yes, you have to have a network, of a support network.
Absolutely.
Of people that you trust, that trust you, that will tell you the truth, that will help you, that will guide you. I also look for people who are mentors, who can help me. They've been where I'm trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're Black women, Black men. They understand the trials and tribulations that I'm going to have to go through. They have that cultural reference frame of mind. They can tell me, you know what? You need to focus on this.
Yep.
These are the things that you can change here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to look into what are the health benefits that your company provide or that are available to you as third-party services that you may pay for or get under a plan if you're an entrepreneur, under a plan somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to navigate these resources and interview the people that you want to help you. Don't just take the first name on the list. Be okay with changing therapists because they don't work with you and they don't fit you. And you don't feel supported, why would you stay there? Or you feel like they're berating you or whatever, right? It's okay to go and find another resource, another professional.
Yep.
Last thing that I'll say, and then we've got to get up out of here. Having that community. This is the thing I want to leave with everybody. As Sharonda said, having that community, but it's not just people at work. You need to have a supportive community around you. Friends, family, coworkers, online forums, support groups like my Wake Up Happy Sis, the Sister Circle, right? You need a community of like-minded women, and sometimes women and men, whatever, who understand what you're going through, your unique challenges as a Black woman, a high-performing and high-achieving Black woman who is either an entrepreneur, a career professional, executive, whatever. You need people who are going to understand you and what you're going through. Build that community. That is such a pivotal step in prioritizing your health.
Absolutely.
And stop being afraid to stand up for yourself.
Right.
Stand up for yourself. Do it respectfully and professionally, but stand up for yourself and for what you need to get the help you need to be successful. And don't be afraid to move on, because every place is not your place. And if you are in a constantly negative environment where you don't feel there's opportunities for you to grow, do your best while you're looking for another job.
That part.
Do your best while you're looking for another job. So do you have any little last tips that you would like to share while we close out?
I do. Trust yourself, trust your instincts. You're feeling like this for a reason. Advocate for yourself, and like Leanne said, it's okay to move on. It is okay to continue to be your normal high performing self, but when it is evident that you're not going to get the support or the help that you need, kindly go home, spend some time looking for other jobs and applying, because this is not your place. You're just passing through. So get to your happy place. Oh,
Yes. So Tidria said, I was in a situation where our section was downsized from 12 to 8. Our immediate supervisor and coworkers taught each other our jobs. Later, cross training, our section bypassed the day shift in performance with less people. All of this with an arrogant, somewhat racial woman as a manager. And they all received bonuses. That's because of your network. That is the exact example of building your network and trusting your network.
Great job, Deidre. I really do hope. Did you get some bonus or some kind of perks after that? Please.
Yeah, they said they got bonuses. They all received bonuses.
Okay.
So that's
great job,
right? But when you use and leverage that network, you can be unstoppable. But you have to have a team that's willing to get in there and work together. There can be no microaggressions. There can be no stereotypes. It has to all be support. And it's giving and receiving. Yep. It's not just about you accepting support. It's about you giving. Just like you said, you guys all dug in there together and said, you know what? What we're not going to do is fail. We're going to support each other. We're going to back each other up and learn all of these things. That's how you succeed. Because what that does is it boosts your mental health, your confidence level, your resilience. You're going to wake up happier, not always dread going to the job, even if you're dealing with a manager who is horrible. We've all had horrible managers and had to deal with it for a certain amount of time, right? But that's what we do. So we're a little bit over time today because this is such a hot topic.
This was so good.
I really enjoyed this conversation. We need to do more topics on mental health and supporting our people. So tell the people where they can find you, Sharonda.
Bookkeepingforlife.com is my website. You can make an appointment and I can jump into your books and give you a clear plan forward to get you out of that purgatory of mile high doggone bookkeeping, if you like. I'm on all platforms as Bookkeeping 101 LLC. And if you need my help, please reach out.
Yes. And I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis. We are live every Monday. And sometimes we also have a second show on Thursday. So, just check us out. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. What are we talking about next Monday? Next Monday, we are going to be talking about, I love this topic, the transformative power of therapeutic recreation. Yes. Play as therapy, y'all. Oh, yeah, we talking about that. We're going to talk about having fun, but also having it help your mind, body, and soul. We're not just having fun, just to have fun. So that's what we're talking about tomorrow. We'll see y'all next time. God bless and have the day that you're meant to have, because you get to control. You get to control how you react to the things that's happening. So
talk to you next time.
See y'all later. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis on KCCR The Brownstone. Make sure you show up